All right. So I want to rant about the placebo effect. Not to like introduce the concept because I think people generally know enough about it to know what it means or what I'm talking about when I say placebo. But I want to kind of explore something about it that I've been thinking a lot about, where essentially like you use it. You know, in a lot of ways, the placebo effect is something that scientists refer to as something to control. So, like, if you're giving, two different populations pills, right? Like, one of them has the medication, one of them doesn't. Because just by taking a pill, some people will actually feel better just because they think that they're getting medicine, even though they're not. So the placebo effect is usually something that people try to avoid. But I've been thinking about it as something to use. And I think that something that humans have done throughout history is actually employing the placebo effect to improve our lives. And we haven't really understood it as that throughout the centuries. So the biggest examples is like symbols, right? Religious symbols, blessings, curses, like even a lot of people today who do the whole holistic medicine. Like, I'm very much this way on purpose because if somebody tells you about some kind of herb, some kind of tea that is supposed to help an upset stomach, and you drink it, like, it almost doesn't really matter what's in it. If you're thinking you're going to feel better and you're slowly like drinking it, like, probably feel a little bit better. It might not be medicine. It might actually be something that calms your stomach or whatever. But the idea is like kind of tricking yourself in a way where it's hard to even call it tricking yourself, because in a way you are feeling better. So it's not a trick, but like, a great example is like symbols that people will hang or like put around their necks. Like, if people are going out each day and they're putting some kind of chain around their neck that has a symbol at the end, they might be thinking that they're going to have a better day. And if they forget it, they might actually have a worse day. If they like get to work and they forgot to put their golden cross on or something, and all of a sudden they're like, oh no, then yeah, they're going to have a worse day just because they're thinking that wearing a cross makes their day better or something, or wearing whatever, And that's it's easy to say that that's silly, but why not? Like, I used to wear, actually I have it right here. There's a chain right here that has a rock that my brother got from the top of this mountain one day, and like made a necklace out of it with this old metal wire, and it's really neat. And like, I don't know, it just reminds me of him. And then there's the chain itself is what my dad used to wear around his neck to hold his radio, like receiver, the little mic or whatever, when he was in the police department. So when I would, oh shit, I'm going a little fast. I just saw sheriff, right as I'm talking about my dad being law enforcement. I'm going to set my cruise control for a little bit slower while I'm talking. Anyway, so I wear that. So whenever I would have like a full-time job, and I had to go to work, it's like I'm more of an entrepreneur type. I ran a small business for 5 years, so like just by having to go into work and have somebody tell me what to do that actually doesn't understand the kind of work that I do as an engineer. You know, like if any engineers are out here listening to this and you've ever had a boss that wasn't an engineer, I don't need to say anything else. Same for like scientists, you know, like when you go and work for big companies and you got these people that are just like, oh, what if we did this? And you're just like, yeah, like you're not unique in thinking that. What if we did that but smaller? It's like, oh yeah, sure. What if this technology that doesn't exist existed, right? Like, what if? I'll pay you as much money to make this impossible thing happen as it takes. It's like, well, it's impossible, so I'd rather go make less money somewhere that I respect the authority for, you know? Anyway. The necklace. Placebo effect. So by going to these jobs that, you know, are maybe a little bit more of a sacrifice, you know, having a little thing you put on each day before you go out, or, you know, well, a lot of people it's just a solid cup of coffee, you know, just having a ritual, and that's rituals and routines. All right, so I wrote about this. I do a lot of writing. It's if you ever look it up, just Herald of the Woods. I try to keep up with it. I need to write a book. I'm working on a memoir right now, but I post these kind of thoughts a lot on a blog called Herald of the Woods, and it's just blog posts. There's no ads, there's no comments, there's nothing but these posts. So if you're interested in what I have to say, you should go to Herald of the Woods. Just Google it, and then it's like a blog spot or blog. I think it's what it's called, Blogspot. It's a blogger app by Google. So if you have a Gmail, then you can sign up for this free blog. It's not even signing up. It's just a Google app. You know, it's kind of like Sheets or whatever. If you have a Google account, you can go to, I think it's called Blogspot or Blogger, something like that. Anyway, Herald of the Woods. So I wrote about rituals and routines. And it's kind of related to the placebo effect, right? So if you have something that's routine, then you might consider it as something that maybe is a little annoying, right? It's like you kind of have to make it a routine. When people say the word routine, it's almost like something you have to do. It's like you go to the gym. It's like it's a routine. You gotta, you make your morning coffee. But like, think about it. Just choosing the word ritual, that just changes everything about it, right? Like, especially if it's something that you could feel, something like you have to mix up, and like you're preparing your cup of coffee in the morning, or your tea at night, or you smoke a bowl, or whatever you do, right? You go outside and watch the sunset, right? It could be a routine. Your little watch can go off and it's like, oh, time to go watch the sunset, time to go for a walk, time to walk the dog, right? Time to go outside for the first time all day. Because I have to. Well, if you say, this is my ritual, oh man, like, think about it too. Don't just say it, but like, it goes back to the placebo effect. Ritual or routine. All right. Are you taking a medicine or are you drinking a potion? Right? It's like coffee. Like, is it a potion or is it just coffee? Is it just caffeine or is it the spirit? Are you being inspired by some kind of natural spirit that grows in some plants, right? That gives you power. It's just words. So if you don't think it is, that's just because the words mean something different to you. That's okay. It doesn't need, right? Like, I'm just saying, words, even though they don't have like the most, especially in the English language, there's so many different interpretations of words that it's almost difficult to just write something and say something and for it to be true and everybody agrees with it. But the point really is the idea. So and I try to stick with simple words, rituals and routines. Just think about it. Placebo effect is a little nuanced, but you're probably familiar with the placebo effect. And I'm ultimately just saying, like, you can consider things that are routine, or I don't know, maybe boring, or just, you do so often that you're not really thinking about it too much. You can consider those as something you have to do, or you can consider them as something like you want to do, and there's something more to them. So again, using placebo. My favorite example of it for me in my life is the dream catcher, the Native American dream catcher. If you've ever had one, they're these beautiful rings, I don't know, circles of wood, or just whatever. They get kind of trying to gesture but drive at the same time. There's usually feathers involved, but the middle looks like this intricate woven, almost like a spider web. But you probably know what I'm talking about. But Google dream catchers, you'll see, and there's usually feathers in them too. And it's something that Native Americans would hang over the entryways of where they lived, especially like modern days. It would be kind of like windows or doors or whatever. And growing up, my mother was part Catawba and Cherokee. I know about the Catawba link, like I've seen the ancestry part of that, and she says, Cherokee, and they lived in the mountains of like North Carolina and Western Virginia. I guess probably West Virginia and Tennessee, Kentucky. So we knew we were part Native American, but we always had these dream catchers up at home, and the real place for them is like in bedrooms, like over the windows. Like I had one over a window by my bed, because the idea was like as you're sleeping, it's catching the bad dreams. It's like a filter. It's like a filter of the spirits. So when you're sleeping, you're not just being exposed to everything. You're putting up this, guard, or this filter over the entrance. And it's not just with Native American tribes. It's everywhere around the world. Okay, look up the Shigandang. Shigandang. SHI is one word. GANDANG. It's these three Chinese characters, and it represents this legendary warrior whose name alone can scare off the evil spirits. So people would put these stones, they'd carve his name into these stones, and they put them outside of their houses, and then along some roads, like especially if somebody's house were at the end of a road and there's like an intersection, and like somebody or an evil spirit coming to the end of that road and seeing the house would immediately see this stone with the name of this warrior who's known as like the protector of the household. So it's just, you put his name there, and demons, like according to legend, the demons see the name and they're scared because they think that Shigandang might be there, right? So I have one of those stones right outside my front porch. And then there's I think they're called the Shisha. I might be saying it wrong. I'm pretty sure it's something like that, but there are symbols in like Eastern Asia. It's used sometimes along with the Shigandang, but it's more of a Japanese. I think it's more of a Japanese symbol, but I saw a lot of them when I traveled to Okinawa recently, where it's two lions, and they're like posed. They're not rearing, rampant, right? They are. I forget what the heraldry term is for lions. They're just posed, like standing guard. But one has its mouth open, one has its mouth shut. So if you ever go to like a nice, Chinese, Japanese restaurant, and you see two lions, look at them, and if one of them has the mouth open and one of them has the mouth shut, that's one of the, I think they're called shishas. Shishas. I might be completely wrong though. Like, I'm trying to remember. But the idea is that the one that has the mouth open is keeping the evil spirits out. So it's showing its teeth, like, stay away. But then the one with its mouth shut is protecting what's inside. It's like one is looking out with his teeth, with mouth open, teeth showing, and then one's inside, like, caring. It's the whole duality idea. The defender and then the nurturer, that kind of thing. So when you put them out and you explain it to people, like, it can either inspire them, or just by walking into your own house and seeing these symbols, you can have this feeling inside like you're being protected. So use them. Use placebo. Don't get too out of hand where it's like you're forcing other people to do things like join a religion or something, because that's the ultimate one. Because if you think that you go to I'm not going to get into that, but it is like, use it, be proud of it. Don't force anybody to use the same tools you use. It's not fair to them. Everybody's different. Some people really, really need something like a church to help them out. Some people are just good with their rituals, a cup of coffee each morning, and maybe their glass of wine at night, or whatever it is. So use it. Use your symbols. And look for them too. Sometimes when you realize that there's symbols that you didn't understand before, and you start seeing them, like the Shigandang, the Shishas, the like dream catchers, people's, a lot of people know about the cross, right? It's not really, it's just, that's kind of a little different, but it's something like all these other symbols where people can put it up and feel like they're going to have a better day. They're protected by something. They're I don't know, like praising some spirit that is going to protect them, or it's something that we can all do. And I think it's something we all do without noticing it, even if we're not religious or spiritual. Like, I'm kind of a hardcore scientist, right? But part of that is something that others would call spiritual, because I know about the placebo effect, and like I'm telling you, you can use it. So it ends up seeming like a spiritual thing, and like I'll adjust my words to talk about it depending on who I'm around. So like if I'm around somebody who's really, really Christian, I'll talk about God more, or what would Jesus do in the situation? Not like, and then if I'm talking to somebody, who's like a Buddhist, or somebody who's more into like a more holistic approach, a very open-minded kind of thing, then, I might talk about peace of mind and earthly desires, and there's symbols related to that too, like the lotus flower, the symbol of Om, like oneness, not the electrical Om signal, which is like an omega, I think. Om, like resistance. Man, there's a fucking idiot driving all the way around the road, so I'm probably gonna have to go, but anyway, use placebo. Why not?